The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and what a Friday it is, and what a Friday is going to be. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another Friday edition of the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and I thank you so much for being aboard with us. We are going to be with you for the next hour. It's a full hour. We meet here every Friday at this time. We have a little coffee, have a little conversation, and you are going to be involved in this show. That's what we're going to ask you to do. And to do that, all you have to do is just get on your computer, on your keyboards, and your telephone and type in and be part of the action. Now, we want you to thank all of you guys who've been around with us for so long. We thank you because you put up with us for all of these years. And thanking all of the new people who may be possibly new, people who have come in for the very first time. Let me tell you what the show is all about. I'm the host of the show, and as the host of the show, I get things started by getting into the prep mode. That's where I am right now, which means I am starting to roll. And while I'm rolling, at any time at all, you could use your keyboard on your telephone, your computer, be it laptop, desktop, and even your tablet. Type in whatever you want to talk about. I will see you right there on that big screen, and I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas because that's what the show is all about. It's free exchange of ideas and of opinion. We all have them. You have them. I have them. And we're going together, collectively, express them all together. And so thank you. Come on in. Don't be shy. You need no alibi. We ought to know also, too, that we have, we're under two platforms when we broadcast this show. The first one is YouTube, and the other one is Facebook. So either one will get you there. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, what I want you to do is take the time right now, and even on Facebook, to tag all of your friends. What I mean by that is you can cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on now, which is, of course, the link that will connect, right? Cut and paste that and send it out to all of your friends and family. You can do that right now. And it doesn't cost you any time or any effort right now, but all you have to do is just do that. And of course, they'll see that it's coming from you. They'll know it's from you. And all you have to do is just wait, and they'll pop in and they'll see us. And if they like what they see and they like what they hear, they'll come back again and again, just like the rest of you guys. And we've got a great show planned for you. Brian Camp is going to be here, and he's going to deliver the latest developments in today's world of sports. And of course, the rest of you guys as well, you're here, so we want you to stay with us. Remember, all of the views and the expressions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So that being said, let's do what we normally do. Let's raise our cups, because what would the Coffee Hour be without a little coffee? So, Brian, excuse me while I shoot up, okay? I had to take that time. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Is everybody okay over there? Is New York?
Well, how long are you going to be with us for today?
I should be here for the whole hour unless if I'm pulled away at the last second.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. So here we are. It's Friday. We're getting ready, set for the weekend. Everybody's sitting back, relaxing, and waiting to do whatever they have to do for the weekend.
Yeah. Well, it's Friday. Let's close out this here week, this work week. Depending on what your religion is, Friday for some people this starts the new weekend. But here in America, we just say let's end with a nice day that leads into the weekend, and so we all could be enjoying our weekend as well.
All right. And if you're superstitious, walk softly and slowly and carefully. Don't go on the ladders. Don't cross your path with a black cat. That's so stupid. It's Friday. It's Friday the 13th, is what I'm saying.
Oh, Jason
And
Voorhees.
I'm not superstitious at all, but just in case people are, beware of that. You know, I guarantee you won't get hurt because
No,
Friday the 13th comes around a lot.
it does. I think we had it last month too. February and March usually repeats the same numbers on the day.
Yeah,
But I don't really get into those Friday the 13th or things. It's just another day for me.
yeah, that's all it is.
It is,
Uh,
yeah.
and I just let it just toss it off in the wind.
That's it.
Anyway, we got a good show for you. As I said later on, Brian, you're going to be doing sports in just a few minutes, not too long from now. Uh, but one of the things that we're going to be celebrating right now, all this month long, is Irish American Heritage Month. That's what we got going on the calendar for the whole month. And that reminds me to tell you that on the 17th, which is this Tuesday, we've got the big St. Patrick's Day parade. Now, I'm pretty sure they're all over the nation, but we have ours in New York, and there's nothing like a New York parade, especially St. Patrick's. So that's coming up. We're celebrating that in Irish American Heritage Month. And if you are watching us and you happen to be Irish and you want to talk about your heritage, feel free, or you could talk about anything. Maybe you have plans for the whole month, and maybe you have some activities you would like us to promote here for you for Irish Heritage Month. Please do let us know. Also, here's the biggie: it's National Women's History Month, and Brian, you're going to be doing something with that too, because you got things coming up in just a few minutes with that, right?
Yeah, sure. I have. It is Women's Month. We salute our women, not because we have to, it's because we want to, because they played an integral part in our nation's development, coming up 250 years of independence. So the women played a major part in this country's lives and in men's life too, as well. So yes, I'm looking forward to give you some history on Women's Month. The women, like I said, are very important people to us, and we want to honor them as well.
Mm-hmm. And finally, it's Red Cross month. All month long, we'll be talking about this too. Red Cross. Now, this is an organization that's been around for years, ever since I don't know, for years. Even when during the war, people depend on the Red Cross, and people are making donations to the Red Cross. And if you want more information about the Red Cross that you don't know about, all you have to do is just go online and go to. I'm pretty sure they have a website, Red Cross. I'm pretty sure, since it's an organization, it's probably redcross.org. I'm just guessing, you know. So you can go through that. You can Google it and find out if you want to learn more about that. But they supply men and women of the service with first aid and all of those things, and they supply things for the rest of us as well. So that's one of the things that we're talking about right now. Later on in the program, too, before the show is over, I am going to give you those movies that I normally do each week. And those are my picks of the week. I take them directly from the Turner Classic Movie Vault. And I do that because I want to add on to your bucket list of what to watch, because a lot of you people on the weekend circuit right now, or coming up to the weekend, and whatever you do your normal thing, whatever you do on the weekends. But one of the things that some people might want to do, including you might want to check out some movies. And I have all of the classic ones. So I'm going to present all of those to you coming up. So how about that? Looks good. Sounds good to me anyway.
Sounds
But
good.
we'll tell you more about that later. So what's happening for your agenda on the weekend? I know you got to get through the day. It's early to tell, but you
Yeah.
know.
Well, right after work, I'm going to take my beautiful wife. Today's her birthday. Today's her birthday as well. Happy birthday, Kat. And we're going to take her out to dinner. We wanted to see a show. It's not many shows that we could see out here in the Queen City that we like. So we had thought about like a jazz concert that we've been to before, but definitely dinner tonight at her favorite restaurant, and then we will do something else in the near future, maybe a couple of days from now, maybe a week from later, and because everything is scheduled that we have to stay on our schedules and do different things. But So that's her birthday weekend, and we're gonna do some other things. Maybe we might fit in something else on a Saturday as well. But tonight, special restaurant dinner that we're gonna go to attend. And then on also it's March Madness that's here. As you know, that's the crazy week, last 2 weeks of the college basketball season. It gets crazy, it gets really excited, and then we move on to baseball.
Mhm. March Madness sounds good. Everybody's waiting around for that. I called
Yeah.
Kat this morning just before I got on the air. Called her, wished her a happy birthday. She didn't pick up, so I just left a message. So she'll see that whenever she has time, whenever she
Mhm.
checks all the messages on her phone. But
Yes.
happy birthday, Kat! If you're watching right now, happy birthday to you. And this is the second time I'm wishing you a happy birthday. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you guys are watching us right now and you want to indulge in conversation, we really wish you would. We hope that you do. There's a lot of people, they're new and they don't want to, they just want to watch the show. But those of you who want to indulge in conversation, give us a weather forecast where you may be living, because we like to compare notes of the weather that I have here in New York, where Brian has in New York, and of course we want to check out the weather that you have and kind of compare notes. I think it's kind of fun. But those of you who live in New York, you don't have to worry too much because I'm going to take care of all the local New York stuff. So don't worry about that. So you bit the bullet, okay? Brian, the weather here it's gotten chilly again today. When
Man.
I went out to the gym and it gotten chilly again. We had after all of that warm weather we had, it's chilly now. What about over there where you are?
Yeah, well, over here yesterday, when I left out the house, it was starting to rain, but it was warm, a very
Mm,
mild temperature. It was warm. It was like in the 60s and 70s. Even though it was raining, it wasn't no vicious rain, just
mhm,
some raindrops. And then
mhm.
suddenly around 12 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when it got a little nippy out there. It started getting colder. Woke up this
Yeah.
morning, start my car. It was frost all over the car. So that had to delay me for an additional 5 to 7 minutes to get the car, because you can't see anything. So you got to put the defroster on so then you can see where you're going. So the weather's changing. This is still winter. As far as I'm concerned, this is still winter. I know what the calendar says, but March is February, March is a very strange month, you know, very, very strange.
And just the other day, people were walking out in sleeveless shirts. I, you know, you can't let this weather, uh, you can't let this weather get you like that, because the faster it gets warmer, the faster it gets chilly again. And these people were walking around, and I dressed accordingly. I still had on a jacket, and when the weather, like when it one day we reached 80, and that
Mhm.
particular jacket, I didn't take off. I had a jacket, a nice jacket, but underneath the jacket, I had a sweater. You know, uh, so you wanna like slowly but surely get into it. You don't want to just take off your clothes just like that. But now here we are. People are back into their coats.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely don't want to take any chances out there with that weather. It's, you know, you get sick, you know. You could get walking pneumonia, you don't even know it. So be very careful, but most of all, be very smart. Always check your forecast before you walk out the door. That's important.
I do that several times a day. If I want, if I'm not at home, if I have my phone, I check it several times a day because it keeps changing. And they'll say one day it's going to rain, and then that rain is canceled. And coming this weekend, well, I'll tell you more about the weather for our forecast later on. But it'll change. One day they'll say, "Oh, Monday is going to be cloudy," and then they'll say it's sunny, and then it just keeps changing. And then they'll say it's snowy and snow with rain. I, I don't know. The weather forecast, between the weather forecast and the news, you don't know what to believe anymore. Between the weather forecast, social media, and the news, you don't even know what to believe anymore. Can they?
Exactly.
I wonder if AI has a hand in the weather. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, I mean, look, we all know that God is the creator. Many of us who believe in God. is greater. I believe that God controls everything, the weather and everything else. But there are times where uh, man always trying to use different technology to change the course of life, and for their gain, for their personal gain. So
Yeah.
I listen to the forecast before I leave out the house, and the time that I estimate time that I'm going to return. Because you don't
Yeah.
want to get caught out in the rain, or the snow or whatever, or any kind of weather condition that may change.
hmm what I do too, even when I know it's not raining. Sometimes when I take my computer in my bag, my laptop, I have a bag for it. I put it in the bag, but in that bag as well, I keep a folding umbrella at all
Yeah,
times, at all times,
always.
because you never know when it's going to rain. And I very rarely use it. And even sometimes when it rains, if it rains hard enough, then I'll use the umbrella. But if it's like a light rain or something, I never really bother to take it out. But it's always in that bag ready to go. You want to be equipped. You want to make sure everything is okay.
And there's
Okay.
always an uncomfortable feeling that when it rains, and you won't have no umbrella, then that's where your weather, your clothes get heavy and you be wet, you feeling uncomfortable. That's how sickness come upon us.
Yeah. You'll be in that rain, singing in the rain like Gene Kelly, all wet. His hat is
Or
all
dancing
wet.
in the rain.
I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling when it's that wet, when it gets soaking wet, your shoes are all wet. Uh, but if you have like the proper shoes, some people wear boots. But if you're wearing like dress shoes, that's the worst. That's the worst. You don't want to wear dress shoes, but sometimes you get caught up in all of that, and then your socks get wet. There's um, nothing worse than clammy feet, and you have your socks on, and it's all wet. It's nothing worse. It just it's a bad feeling. You just want to quickly
Yeah.
get out of those clothes, those wet clothes. It's terrible. But we'll talk more about the weather on our end later on. Is your weather going to be stable all weekend, as far as you know?
I don't know about all weekend. I know today here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it's presently 44 degrees. The high is only going to be 82. We're going to have lots of sunshine, though. Lots of sunshine, but it's going to be cool. Like I said, one thing about North Carolina and in the southern states, it may be cold in the morning, but around noon or just a little bit before noon, you could feel the temperature rising. So we don't stay at one temperature per day. It gradually in the south, it gradually, moves up. But at night, it usually goes down. That's anywhere, any place around the globe, where at nighttime the temperature goes down. It drops to the temperatures.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of the weather, I'm going to give you mine. And for the people, as I said, if you're just coming in, uh, and you want to indulge in conversation, we hope that you do. We love talking to you guys, when you come out here. Uh, and if you decide that you want to talk to us, give us a little weather. It doesn't have to be a full blown weather forecast. It could be like let's see, it's 62 degrees, it's cloudy or it's sunny, and it'll go up the high of 80 or whatever, something like that. And some people like to put, and they emote the emojis, because they have all kinds of weather emojis too. They have the rainy emojis, the sunny emojis, the cloudy emojis, and it just gives us some kind of I don't know, thought of what the weather is really like when you do that. So if you like, we ask you to do it. It's not mandatory, but if you like, just give us your weather forecast, and of course we'll read it out orally. But I'm pretty sure when you recite it, people out there they'll see it anyway. Okay, so here we are in our weather forecast, and here in New York, as I said, it's gotten a little chilly. But we're gonna deal with it. It's gotten a little chilly, but I'm pretty sure it'll get warmer as it goes along, but right now it's 38 degrees. That's what we have right now. Now it was lower than that when I went out this morning because it's Friday and I went out to the gym. Got there at 6 o'clock this morning, so it was kind of frigid out there. But Our weather forecast starts like this for this day. It's going to be partly cloudy skies, and that will happen this morning. We'll be coming overcast during the afternoon, and we'll have a slight chance of rain showers, and it will be a high around 45 degrees. Winds will be south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, tonight, if you out venturing, whatever, it's going to be partly cloudy skies. It's going to be a shower or rain or wet snow, even possible tonight. So you know what to do about that. And we'll have a low around 42 degrees. Winds will be south southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And we move on to Saturday, which is, again, my favorite day of the weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine will have a high 52. Winds will be west at 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll have a high wind gust is possible. And Saturday night, a few clouds overnight, have a low 36. Winds will be north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the outlook for Sunday, it's going to be cloudy. We'll have a high winds will be a high around 46 degrees, and winds will be east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So the weather in New York, it's 38 degrees still. All right. It's time for sports. So, Brian, what you got going for us?
Let me just say the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be in the 70s. So low 40s in the daytime, but around midday, we're going to be in the 70s, low 70s. So we're going to have some comfortable weather. As for sports, well, like I said, March Madness is upon us. Sunday is called Selection Sunday, where they select teams from every Division I school. Some will get a bye, some will have to get an at-large bid. They will select Sunday for the men's and for the women's as well. Women's March Madness is also great to have. That's going to be upon us too. It's just no longer the men, but it's the women as well. Now, in the NBA, the NBA has canceled the Atlanta Hawks' plans for a celebration of City's Magic City Strip Club. They have ownership, and they're part of, or I should say, partner with the club, saying Monday that it was responding to concerns from many across the league. The event was supposed to happen March 16th, which is coming up, during a game against the Orlando Magic. Now, Orlando announced plan last month, calling a tribute to an iconic cultural institution with food, including the club's lemon pepper wings, a version of which name for the former Hawks, Lou Williams, along with music, exclusive merchandise. Now, big plans, some of the plans for merchandise has been scrapped as has a live recording of a podcast that was to feature Hawks primary owner Jamie Getz, rapper T.I., and Magic City founder Michael Bonney. Plans for the celebration were met with mixed reactions. One player, Luke Cornett of the San Antonio Spurs, spoke out against the idea of promoting a strip club and urged the parties involved to reconsider, which they have. You don't want to have a strip club with kids around. Parents, they bring their children to the games to watch basketball games. You don't need to have a strip club right there. Kids are not welcome to be in any strip club. So you gotta be very careful of how you want to have the build. I applaud the NBA for knocking it down and to cancel it as well. Now, there may be some things that they may keep, but a strip club is something we don't want to be stereotyped where blacks like to use strip clubs. It's not right. It's not good for the children. Major League Baseball former National League President Bill White will receive the Buck O'Neil Lifetime Achievement Award from Baseball Hall of Fame on July 25th. Buck O'Neil was one of the first and one of the best players in the old Negro League. Now, for Bill White, the 92-year-old former star played and broadcast will be honored during the induction weekend when Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones enter the hall along with Jeff Kent, the hall said on Monday. He was now Bill White was a former New York Yankee broadcaster. He used to broadcast with Frank Messer and Phil Rizzuto back in the early 70s. But he was a broadcaster from 1971 to 1988. Then became the first Black league president, and when he was succeeded. A. Bartley G. Montati, a white, served in the office from 1989 to 1994. So as we was talking about Women's History Month, it's upon us, you know. Disc jockeys hold important place in popular music, bridging the gap between artists and listeners. Many famous DJs have been instrumental in bringing the latest music to the masses. One name that doesn't come up often, however, was a game changer. Yes, this was the change. This was a part of history that changed a lot back in 1912. Mary D. Was born Mary Elizabeth Good Dudley in 1912 in Homestead, Pennsylvania. Her parents, William and Mary, the children enslaved people, moved to Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area in the late 1800s. Driven and keen to express herself, Dee graduated from St. Man Radio School in Pittsburgh in 1948. And when WHOD started up after she applied for a job. Though the station turned her down, she persisted and was finally offered a show on the condition she found sponsorship. After securing backup, see, that's how you're supposed to negotiate a job. If you know you're good and you know your rating is good, then you want to just have what you need to have to be persistent and to know what's good for not only for the individual, but for the audience as well. And was finally offered a show on the condition she found sponsorship. She found sponsorship. After securing backing, the 15-minute Moving Around with Dee, that was a show, went on the air and quickly exploded in popularity. Within months, her airtime increased to an hour, and she had a new segment, the highly succeeded faith-based gospel train. People from all walks of life would tune in to hear. By the 1950s, she was established herself as WHOD's shining star, interviewing people like Jackie Robinson, broke the baseball barrier, Sarah Vaughan, Tony Bennett, Nat King Cole, and Eartha Kitt, and countless other celebrities. In 1951, the station gifted her Studio D. I like that. Studio D, not with Studio D, but Studio DEE, which is part of her name, on the corner of Central and Huron Avenues in the Hill. Dee gave her community as much as it gave to her. Committed to the civil rights, she used her platform to address Black issues of the day. She frequently had her brother, Malvin Gould, a reporter with the Courier, on her show to cover Black news. Gould, who went on to become the first Black newsman employed by ABC, tackled the latest in segregation and police brutality. Dee also believed in giving a voice to young people. She played a music popular with teenagers, such as Rock and Roll MC Teens Club, and had a teen segment hosted by her daughter, Sherilyn, or Little D. Additionally, she promoted the careers of obscure upcomings and served as the mentor for Black children, such as guitarist George Benson. We heard that name before. Unfortunately, not everything went smoothly. In 1952, she divorced her abusive husband, Franklin, who left her 10 to raise their children alone. While she and WHOD were generally popular, they faced racist backlash from some listeners. In 1955, the station was sold to buyers who converted it to WAMO, a country showcase, in 1956. Dee, her brother, and 4 other Black employees were fired with owner Leonard Walk citing competition in the Negro market. Dee lost her radio studio. No, she lost her studio. She wasn't. She wouldn't stay down. Put it like that. She moved to Baltimore and continued working before coming to Philadelphia to start a show in 1958, invited her friend Dolly Banks, who ran a local station. With her new program, Songs of Faith, Dee came back to the mainstream, winning greater popularity than ever before. She remained active in the Black community, joining the NAACP and the National Council Negro Women, as well as being among the first African Americans accepted into the American Women of Radio and Television. By the time of her death, on March 17, 1964, she became legendary, and 3,000 people attended her funeral in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Legendary describes Mary D. best, a trailblazer. That's one of the highest honors somebody could say about somebody who did their work before or after they died. She not only created a path for many Black women to follow, but though her connection with society around her. From the Hill to America at large, she helped set the stage for what DJs are supposed to be. She played records others willing alone to play, spoke about topics others would not cover. She took chances. As for sports, women in sports, Julie Crone, who won 3,700 career wins in horse racing, and is the first woman to win the Triple Crown, and which is the Triple Crown is winning the Preakness, the Kentucky Derby, and the Belmont Stakes. If you did that, then you're a Triple Crown rider. She did not do it in one single year, but she did it throughout the course of her career. Raised in the horse farm in Eau Claire, Michigan, Crone began riding horses at a very early age of 14. 2 short years later, Crone made her debut riding Tiny Star. So whenever you was born to raise to get on a horse, you've got to start at an early age. Like I said, she won the Triple Crown winner in 1993. She became the first woman inducted into the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame. And that's Julie Crone. We applaud her. That was recently, so many of you may have heard of her. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports, and a moment in sports history and a moment in American history for women.
Women are, and I said this last night on Talkback Live, and I'll say it again, that women, a lot of them are trailblazers. A lot of them were in these positions a long time, and it goes way back when these were male-dominated positions. Women were there, and they just ignored the fact that women could do these jobs. Because back in those days, the woman was supposed to stay home and mind the children and cook meals and things like that. But those women, they worked. Now, they probably did for a while stay home and cook meals and things like that, but at the same time, they had their own careers, because it was taboo back in those days when women were coming up. Their spot was supposed to be in the home, and the male was the breadwinner. Now these days, women are so proactive these days. Now, in some families, in some households, women are the breadwinners. In some households, women are the breadwinners. And frankly, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. If you can run a house together, that's good. But there's nothing wrong. I wouldn't have a problem with my wife making more money than me. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Not at all. I wouldn't have a problem with that either. But for some women, people of color, it was hard. Just like you said, they would not allow women to take certain things. But for a woman of color, that even makes it double more trouble for them, where they have to work double harder work to get the respect of their peers as well too.
Yeah. And out of all of those years, even today, they're still giving women a hard time. Women are still having a hard time, just like blacks are still getting a hard time after all of these years, with all of the toiling and the strife from people who were ahead of us to try to pave the way. they still try to keep women at bay. It's terrible.
It is
When
terrible.
is America going to grow up? Frankly, America hasn't grown up yet.
America has got a
That's
real.
not a put down. That's not
No,
a put down. America.
no, it's not. But you got to understand. Again, the women play an integral part in what we do globally. They decide who becomes president of the United States because more women. Women in churches are the backbone of the church. You don't find too many men in church. Women are more educated. Not saying that the women back in time were educated, but they were held down. They were put down where you only speak whenever you're supposed to be speaking. You stick your place, as some men will say, and they say to today, a woman's place is in the kitchen and in the bedroom. Okay, it sounds cruel. But that's how it was back in those days, in the Jim Crow era, and that went for white families as well during the Jim Crow era, and for blacks as well too. So a woman's voice wasn't really sound, wasn't spoken, but women more today, and we thank the women today for being the way they are. I think about Rosa Parks. She put her foot down. I'm not getting a hard day's work. I'm not moving to the back of the bus. And, just like we have this Julie Crone and First Lady Mary D, first DJ in the United States. So women's come a long way. So this is why this is Women's Month. We salute you and we thank you.
Would you believe that some people still have that mentality? Some people still have that mentality about women, about they shouldn't be here or they shouldn't be there or they should be home. I've heard it. You go to some of these. Well, I don't go there, but I've heard them said in some of these MAGA movements, some of these MAGA rallies, that men should continue to be dominating, and women should submit to them at all times. And people still have that mentality. People are still not waking up to the fact that it's a new day.
And it wasn't that too long ago where in church, where we all grew up in church, where a woman was not supposed to be a pastor of a church. A woman's voice, biblically speaking, but women was part of women in the Bible were very important. Put it like that. In the 60s, 70s, a woman could not lead a church. Was not allowed to be a pastor. But things have changed. And how I saw the change, I used to work for New York City Transit, where we used to call the people that operate the train, we used to call them motormen.
Yeah. We
don't call them motormen anymore. We call them train operators. That means train operators for men and women. For bus operators.
Yeah.
So that's what. So they're being respected now for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that reminds me of something. I was on a bus one day, and this lady was on the bus, and she wanted to communicate with the bus operator, and she called him bus driver. And I said, ma'am, maybe you should just call him operator, because he's not gonna pay attention to you. If you say other than that, he's not gonna pay attention to you.
True facts. That's a true fact. I've been called both. I mean, some people are stuck in their own ways, but anybody could drive. Anybody could drive. They cannot operate.
That's right. That's right.
Big difference.
Yeah. Well, here's something else that I wanted to bring out to you, being that I live here in New York and I know all about it. But the marathon is coming up this weekend, this Sunday, as a matter of fact. And that's the day where some people love it and some people hate it. It's a love-hate situation because, and I say it's hate because when you drive, and now that you know it's coming on, maybe you shouldn't drive. But if you go out there, you're going to get caught in it all. It's going to be here. It's going to be here Sunday. I think it starts like 7 a.m. up until noon. I think something like that. So
be prepared for street closures as well too, or street closures for at least half of the day.
Yeah.
You go into a parade or a marathon, it's
Yeah.
best you get a parking space a day or two earlier and leave it there and take public transportation back home,
Yeah.
because you're not going to gain any, and you're not going to gain any kind of way of getting to the destination as quickly as you think you can. You're going to be held up a lot. That's a lot of people running.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's here, it's here, and so I just urge the people who live in New York and live in, because I think it's going to start in Prospect Park in Brooklyn, and it's going to cross over the bridge. Usually, sometimes it was the Verrazano. It used to cross the Verrazano Bridge, I think. I
Yes,
don't know.
it usually crosses the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
Because you not living in New York,
Mm.
New York City is 5 boroughs, and
Yeah.
from Staten Island to Brooklyn. In fact, that's probably the only way you could get to Brooklyn is through
Yeah.
through Staten Island into Brooklyn. It's a big old bridge. The bridge was made, I believe, in 1964. I believe the Verrazano Bridge was made. So
Yeah.
that's the way of transportation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what's happening. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. Brian Camp was with me, and you guys are with me as well. And we thank you so much for being along with us. So stay with us for the balance of the show. We got a few more minutes left, and you can tell your friends about it. Share a little more of the show with them if you haven't done thus far. You know, if you're watching us on YouTube, cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on and send it to your friends, and they'll see it. They'll know it's coming from you. They'll click onto it, and it brings them automatically to us. Okay. In the world of entertainment, Jennifer Runyon, best known for her role as Gwendolyn Pierce on the classic sitcom Charles in Charge, she died Friday. Runyon's friend Erin Murphy, who starred as the young Tabitha Stevens on Bewitched, confirmed that the actress passed away after a brief battle with cancer. Runyon was born in Chicago on June 1st, 1960, the daughter of the famed DJ, radio announcer, and sometime TV personality Jen Runyon. Jennifer took no time following her dad's footsteps when she secured her first screen role in the 1980 slasher To All a Good Night. She was 65. Tommy DiCarlo, the lead singer of the rock band Boston, has died. The musician who became the band's frontman in 2007, died on Monday after a battle with brain cancer. DiCarlo joined Boston after its original leader died, Brad Delp, who died in 2007. DiCarlo, who was working as a credit manager at his local Home Depot before landing his dream job as the role of the band's lead singer, got the attention of Boston after uploading covers of Boston songs on his MySpace page. DiCarlo was 60. Last Sunday afternoon in Beverly Crest neighborhood of Los Angeles, California was anything but quiet, not when a woman pulled up across the street from Rihanna's mansion and allegedly uploaded a AR-style weapon at the property while the pop singer, the icon, was at home inside. And at least 10 rounds were fired at Rihanna's Beverly Hills residence on Sunday while the singer was at home. Officers with the Los Angeles Police Department responded at about 1:15 p.m. local time, and following the reports of shots that were fired at the property, the perpetrator was arrested, but no one was injured. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is ready to be King Conan. And after 45 years after he starred in Conan the Barbarian, Schwarzenegger is officially picking up the sword again for King Conan. And the upcoming third installment is in the franchise. Oscar winner screenwriter Christopher McQuarrie is set to write and direct the film for 20th Century Studios. McQuarrie has spent the last decades as Tom Cruise's partner in crime on the previous 4 Mission Impossible movies, and King Conan will be his non-mission directorial effort since 2012. And finally, Brooks Nader is the newest Baywatch babe. On Monday, Fox revealed that the Love Thy Nader actress is joining the cast for the upcoming reboot series, set to premium to premiere as part of the 2026-2027 season. Nader will be playing series regular Celine alongside lead Stephen Amell, and in addition to the other cast members, including Hassie Harrison, Thaddeus Legrone, and David Chokachi, who is reprising his original role as Cody Madison. Birthdays today: actor William H. Macy is 76. Actor Robert S. Woods is 78. And these people who are no longer with us, we just lost Neil Sedaka. His birthday would have been today. He would have been 87. And jazz drummer Roy Haynes would have been 101. And big band leader Sammy Kaye would have been 126. So happy birthday to people like William Macy and Robert Wood, the living actors, and of course to Neil Sedaka, Roy Haynes, and Sammy Kaye, who are no longer with us. We wish you a happy birthday as well. We continue to remember you because you left us a wonderful legacy. And those of you who may have a birthday coming up soon, first of all, while talking birthdays, once again, happy birthday, Katina Camp. Happy birthday to you. And if you have a birthday coming up and you would like me to announce it just as I announced Kat's birthday, all you have to do is get in touch with us, and you can do that by emailing us or calling us. I have an email address and a telephone number. The email address first is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. Prod is Prod. That's short for Productions. And Allan is spelled Allan, right? Okay. And that's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. If you prefer to call, it's simple. Number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now you could use these numbers and the email 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's always open to you, and you can use it anytime you want. And you don't necessarily have to use it because you have a birthday. It could be for any reason. You can call us or email us, and you want to let us know about the show or talk about the show, or maybe you have some kind of information that you want us to put out, maybe some kind of community active program you want us to put out there. We'll help you out with that. But just use it and keep all the information in your electronic devices, such as your computer, be it laptop or desktop, even your telephone and your tablet. And because if one doesn't operate, you have something else to fall back on. So let me give you that email address again, frankallanprod at AOL.com. That's frankallanprod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. I want to give you these movies that are coming out this weekend. Now, each week I go into the Turner Classic Movie Vault. And what I do is that I pick the select movies that I think are to your liking, I think that you'll like. And this week I have 6. And you can add them to your bucket list of what to move or what to watch this weekend, if you so desire, if you want to just catch up on some movies for the weekend. So let's get started right now. Let's go back to 1942, Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper, Teresa Wright, and Babe Ruth. It's on Turner Classic Movies. You can see that Saturday at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. And you have My Man Godfrey, another black and white classic from 1936 with William Powell and Carol Lombard. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. The Philadelphia Story from 1940. Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and James Stewart. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 12 a.m. Eastern. That's Saturday night, Sunday morning. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Okay, there's another classic starring Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, and Victor Bono as Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 7:45 a.m. Eastern. And we talked about it earlier about Gene Kelly singing in the rain. That's coming on too. And you could see that from 1942 with Donald O'Connell and Debbie Reynolds. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. And something that's played seasonally, which is called the Oscar, because we got the Oscars coming up on this Sunday. And that's in 1952, starring Stephen Boyd, Elkie Summer, and Milton Berle. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can go on Turner Classic Movies and you may check out some other movies that I didn't mention only because these are my picks of the week. And you can find other movies that you can add to your bucket list as well. And you could follow Turner Classic Movies. And while you're there, if you still have your cable, you can go there and check out the free movies. There are a lot of them. Also, you have pay-per-view movies. I don't know why it's so hard for me to get pay-per-view out of my mouth, but you get the idea. Also, you have a lot of children's programs. You have sporting events. Sometimes if you don't get to see them in real time, you can check them out later, and sometimes without commercial interruption. Not all the time, just sometimes. And then you have, I love documentaries. You have a lot of those too. So check it out. And so let me give you this email address again. Not the email address. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the movies. So let me give you the movies once again. The movies: Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper, Teresa Wright, and Babe Ruth. Turner Classic Movies Saturday at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. My Man Godfrey, William Powell, and Carol Lombard. Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. It's a great comedy too. And another great comedy, Philadelphia Story, Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and James Stewart. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 12 a.m. Eastern. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, and Victor Bruno. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 7:45 a.m. Eastern. Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. And The Oscar with Stephen Boyd, Elkie Summer, Milton Berle. Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Take a good look at all of those movies. I think you're going to like them. Brian, I mentioned Oscars. Oscars, as I said, is coming up on Sunday. I don't particularly indulge anymore, but I mean, do you? Do you still watch the Oscars?
If there's a game on, I'm not going to watch. I wouldn't say I sometimes I forget that it's on, but do I schedule to watch it? Do I make plans? No. If it comes on, if there's a reminder, I'll flip to it. You won't find the real important categories until the show ending with Best Actor, Actresses, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, and Best Movie. So, not really. I know you mentioned Robert S. Woods' birthday. Is that the same Robert S. Woods who played in General Hospital at Bo Buchanan? One Life to Live?
That's the same one. That's the same one. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. That's the same one. Robert S. Wood.
Robert S. Wood, yeah.
Yeah, so, played on all of those soaps. What was it? One Life to Live, I think.
One Life to Live, that's right. Life to Live.
Yep. That's the one he played on.
Cans. And, but as for the Oscars, don't usually make it my break my neck or have it on my schedule to watch it. If I'm in front of the TV, I may flip to it after a game or during the game or during a timeout or halftime. But the Oscars is not for me. It never was, especially even more now. But I do tune in towards the end to see when Best Actor and so on, depending on how they run well too.
Well, just in case you have Oscar freaks out there, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just fanatics or fans or whatever you want to use. I hate that word fanatic because I hate the word fan because it means fanatic. I'm not a fanatic or anything. I'm a supporter. Anyway, if you want to watch the Oscars, which is better known as the Academy Awards, it's the 98th Academy Award. You can watch it on Sunday. That's this Sunday, the 15th. And you can watch it at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's 4 p.m. Pacific. And it'll be hosted by Conan O'Brien. and the ceremonies will be taking place. You can watch it on ABC, and it'll also be streaming on Hulu. It's going to be direct from the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, California. So I gave you all that information because just because I don't watch it, that doesn't mean you wouldn't want to watch it. So there you go. You have all that information there. And so good luck, whoever you're rooting for. Good luck.
We had some sad news in the entertainment world, especially in the New York area. Anchor has been around for a long time. Ernie Anastas used to work at Fox and used to work at CBS and ABC. He was 82 years old, died of pneumonia. So I pray go out to the family of the Anastas family as well.
Yeah. He's such a nice man. I had a pleasure of meeting him. Such a nice man. I never forget when I was working back by WOR days. I was working in the control room there, and when he was there, he was a guest of one of the hosts. And after he got off, he came into control room and he said he didn't have to do it, but he said thank you for your help. And that was it. He was a very nice man.
He is the ultimate team player. Although he may be the one that's giving the news out, and his face is on camera, but he's the way he was described. I never met him, but the way people describe him, that he thinks about the people who behind the scenes, just like you said, people for the technology and the people that works behind the scene. This is who he is. This is who he was. So
wow,
yeah.
I guess that kind of explains why he came into the control room to say thank you for your help. I guess that explains it.
That's right.
He was a nice guy. He was a nice guy, and you don't get to meet a lot of nice people in this business, in our business. There are a lot, but even though there are a lot, there are some that are not so nice. We'll just tell it just like it is. There are some that are just not so nice, and what you see on TV doesn't necessarily have to be what they really are. They could be sparkly and hey, me, I'm the same way. Brian is the same way, the way he is. What you see right now is what you get. But everybody's not like that. Everybody's not like that. But that's the business. That's the business. Before we go, I want to briefly talk about that war that we were talking about last night. And I know I want to stick a pin in because there were certain things about this war. We're in the 14th day of the war right now, the war in Iran. And there's by the way, there's no ending in sight. Now, the bad thing about this war is that we don't even know why we're in the war. The war was set up, but we don't even know, not even the man himself who created this whole deal knows why we're in the war. As he considers the war, or he says as an excursion, which that's another story. We should buy this man a dictionary or something so he know what the term excursion really means, which he really wanted to say was incursion. But I digress.
Well, nobody wants war. He was warned, he was warned. People were warned about this here happening and everything, and it just doesn't make sense, for what's going on. And come on, be smart. Well, he lies so much, and but his supporters will not come out and say it. They are feeling the pain now. I could tell you that much.
Yeah. And before I forget, while we're talking on this subject, before I forget, I want to make sure urge everyone to get out and vote.
Midterm.
They say we want to get rid of this man. The only way you're going to get rid of this guy is your vote. That's the only way you're going to get rid of him. He's not going anywhere. So if you want him out of there, if you want to get rid of him, you got to vote. And don't do like you did last week. Say, oh, my vote don't count. I'm not going to go out there. This is the time to do it. Now he's afraid. He's afraid for midterm elections. He's afraid. He doesn't want. He's making it even harder for you to vote. He's making it hard for everybody to vote now because now you have to show your identification to prove that you are a a citizen of the United States. That means you have to show your passport. A lot of people don't have passports.
If I was to ever meet him, I would tell him in his face, you're always calling somebody with a low IQ. But Mr. President, your IQ is lower than everybody else.
I want to say something to him myself, and I'm not going to say it on the air. Anyway, Brian, thanks for coming. Thanks for dropping by and spending time with us. We're going to catch you back here next Thursday, right? On the on Talkback Live, and we'll see you then. How about that?
Everybody enjoy your weekend. And
okay. And in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy your weekend too, as well. I want you to stay with us. Be back here next Thursday, as I said, 8 p.m. Eastern for Talkback Live. Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of music, in today's world of sports, music. And then meet us back here next Friday at 10 a.m. for more of the Coffee Hour. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day and a great weekend. See you soon. Take care.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stanky. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.